What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken. Today, guys, we are here to discuss and talk about the latest 4K release from Blue Underground, and that is Venom. Venom. Sorry, guys, I have to do that every single time I say the title Venom, but this is not, the Venom movies with Tom Hardy. This is a movie from 1981 that stars Klaus Kinski. It is also a British UK movie as well. I think that's fair to say because it does take place in the UK. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one because I didn't know what to expect going in. And I feel like what I got was a little different, but it was a good difference. So we're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about the transfer. We're going to talk about the special features because this is a new addition from Blue Underground. So it does have new features in it as well, even though Blue Underground did put this out a number of years ago. We'll talk about those. We'll talk about, of course, the audiovisual quality, unboxing, all that good stuff, guys. Before we get into it, hit the like button, okay? I would appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. And then, comment down below. Have you seen Venom before? Did you purchase this? Will this be a first-time watch for you? Let me know in the comments section below. So this is directed by Piers Haggard, but he was a director that came in to replace Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper was initially attached to direct this film, but there were problems in the production with particularly the two lead cast members of Klaus Kinski and Oliver Reed. They couldn't get along. Tobe Hooper, he just was very frustrated, and from all accounts, he did not know how to manage this conflict on set. Now, the reasons that he got out of it from his perspective was because he had a family emergency. Then he couldn't be a part of it anymore, but people speculate that that's not really the reason. It's because he just didn't want to be involved in the film anymore because there was so much conflict on set. But Tobe Hooper was initially attached to direct this. He did not direct this. This was directed by Piers Haggard. So, look, I'll say this up front. If you go into this, look, it's essentially a kidnapping gone wrong film that involves a snake. So it's kind of a creature feature, but it's also a thriller. I would say it's more like a suspense thriller than it is a creature feature. So a kid gets kidnapped and the kidnappers are, holed up in this house and the police are outside, but there's a poisonous snake inside. How does that poisonous snake get inside? Well, watch the movie and you can find out. But there's a poisonous snake inside the house with these kidnappers that have this young boy and the police are outside. So it's like a hostage standoff situation with a poisonous snake inside. So that's the problem inside, and then they got problems outside. But look, diving into the film itself, this one actually kind of surprised me. I was kind of shocked by just how genuinely good the movie was. It took itself seriously, and it's not really like it's not an Anaconda. Like, it's not a B. It is a snake movie. It is kind of a creature feature, but it's not a B movie creature feature. Like, there's an actual like story surrounding the snake. I would honestly say this is more of a suspense thriller than I would call it a creature feature, because the snake is in the film and he is a threat, but he's not like the only threat. And I feel like for a good portion of the film, he's not the most prominent threat. In the movie, he's just kind of like looming in the background, and he's there, and he could attack it at any moment's notice. And you have this really interesting dynamic between the two where there's suspense on both sides. There's tension on both sides because they're not safe in the house and they're not safe if they go outside the house, but they're also criminals, so you don't really feel sorry for them, but also you kind of do because the snake is very poisonous, and if you get bit by that thing, it's a grisly death. It is a very grisly death, and I like this movie because they establish the stakes of that very early. And I don't want to go into details because I don't want to spoil anything, but they establish the stakes of what this snake can do very early on in the film. So even though there's not a ton going on for the rest of the film involving the snake until we get more towards the end, I mean, there is here and there, he pops up and stuff. You have that tension there. You have that built-in tension for the duration of the film as we're going through it, that when this thing pops up, like, all hell's going to break loose and it's going to get nasty because of just how poisonous and threatening and dangerous this actual snake is. So yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. It was really well acted. Klaus Kinski, I don't know how many things I've seen him in. I'm sure I've seen him in some other stuff in the past. I think he played Dracula, actually, at one point, or Nosferatu, maybe. But he's great, like, as the villain. He just has a really, like, natural villainous face. Even in the beginning of the film where he's like the taxi driver, or he's like the driver, and he's supposed to be looking like happy and non-threatening to this boy. Like when you look at his face and he's smiling, like I would not get in the car with that guy. I would not get in the car with that guy. So he's kind of the perfect villain. And another interesting fact is he actually turned down, and I learned all this stuff in the special features, guys. It's important to watch the special features. He actually turned down the role in the villain role in Raiders of the Lost Ark to do this film. And this is a film that's kind of, I don't want to say lost in time. I'm sure that there's people that know about Venom, but certainly more people know about Raiders of the Lost Ark. But he is great in this movie. Oliver Reed is really great in this movie. The whole cast is good. The boy's good. The mom, she's not in the film a ton because she goes away and then she comes back towards the end, but she's good. The whole cast is good. It's just a very well acted movie. It's a very, very well shot movie. You got a lot of POV from the snake perspective as he's like going. It's almost like Die Hard, essentially as well, like with the snake as he's going through the vents, and you got the POV from him, from his perspective. I don't know why I keep calling it a him. Like maybe it's a she. I think they might say it's a she actually in the film. But just a really good movie that surprised me. It is not like, I would not call this a B creature feature. I would not call this a B horror film at all. And Blue Underground's done quite a few of those, I would say. This is more like a legitimate like suspense thriller it feels like a 70s movie. I was going to say 70s. That's because it feels 70s, but it's from 1981. But yeah, just a really good movie. I recommend this one, even if you don't want to buy this 4K outright for $40, because it is going for, I think, $39.96 right now on Amazon. Like, watch it on streaming or something. Check it out on there, and if you like it, maybe you'll want to get this 4K edition. But yeah, the movie itself, I can't recommend enough. I had a really good time watching the movie. Now, getting into the 4K here, guys, the actual visual quality of this movie. So, Blue Underground did put out a Blu-ray of this back in 2016. I think it's still going for about $12 right now, just a standard Blu-ray edition. They also had a special edition that came out that I imagine was the same transfer back in, I think, 2016, 2017. It had like the image of the girl on the front. She's like in her bra. There's like the snake behind her. It's a really like over the top image that would indicate that this is a really like, B-level creature feature, which again, I feel like that image kind of sells the movie all wrong because that's not really what this movie is. I think this image does a little bit a better job of selling the movie. But that transfer, by all accounts, was not very good. That was not a very good Blu-ray that Blue Underground did back in 2016. So with this edition, you have the Blu-ray and you have the 4K here, but the Blu-ray is not the same Blu-ray from back in 2016. It's a new 4K scan on the Blu-ray. So you have the 4K with the 4K restoration with Dolby Vision HDR10, and you also have the Blu-ray with the new 4K scan. So both the Blu-ray and the 4K in this set are going to look better than that Blu-ray that came out back in the day, if you already own that in your collection. Now, I cannot speak to that past Blu-ray and how it looks because I have not personally viewed it. But again, I read a review of it from back in the day, and it was not very favorable. I'm sure it was the best it ever looked at that time, better than DVD, better than VHS, but this is probably a pretty sizable upgrade over that Blu-ray. And just viewing it for the first time on 4K, just as a 4K restoration and transfer, I thought it looked really good. Now, this is a movie that is kind of dull, kind of dreary. It's set in the UK, which is kind of dull and dreary. Anyway, sorry, UK, if you're watching, but you're kind of dull and dreary up there as far as your weather and stuff. So it's just not a very bright and colorful film. Overall, it's in a house. It has a dull aesthetic. It's kind of at night sometimes. So like the colors, the HDR, the Dolby Vision, like that really isn't being utilized at full capacity with this movie in particular. But the level of detail like is really great. Like there's several like up close shots of like the police when they're talking outside, also the inside as well. That look great. You can see great detail on the faces. You can see great detail on the outfits and everything as well. The actual snake up close looks really good. Now, because again, I just talked about this with a recent 4K review, Don't Torture a Duckling. Now, because this is 4K, and you can notice stuff a little bit better. When the snake attack scenes happen and the people just have it in their hands and they're kind of fighting with it, it does look a little silly because you can tell it's a rubber snake. At least I don't think it's a real snake. Maybe they did utilize a real snake, but you can tell it's not a real snake, so that kind of takes away from the effect. But maybe you can notice that as well on Blu-ray. But overall, I found the picture quality to be really nice. I thought this was a really nice 4K restoration. Again, the Dolby Vision HDR really wasn't firing on all cylinders because this movie's just not a very colorful movie anyway. But I mean, HDR doesn't always mean that the colors have to be more enhanced. Like there could be other aspects of the film that are enhanced with that HDR on the Dolby Vision. I thought there was a lot of great depth and the contrast, like in some of the night scenes, all this stuff looked good. You can make everything out very clearly as well. So in that respect, I think the HDR and Dolby Vision did do its job. But yeah, overall, really nice 4K presentation here by Blue Underground, and they're kind of known for doing great 4Ks. And I don't think that this 4K release that they put out is any exception right here. Thought it looked great. Now getting into the sound, guys, they actually added a Dolby Atmos to this as well. I don't know if you need Dolby Atmos on Venom, but there are some shootout sequences, so maybe you did. Now, I don't have that full Atmos setup. I've got a soundbar that kind of simulates that Atmos. I've got a subwoofer. I thought the sound was fantastic. Like I said, when you hear the snake coming, like you hear the hissing and stuff, I thought that stuff sounded good, but there's just a really nice, like claustrophobic, like feel to this movie in parts. And I thought the sound was fantastic and really added to that. So no issues with the sound, but not only do you get the Dolby Atmos, you also get the 5.1 and you get the 2.1 DTS HD master audio as well. Now, getting into the unboxing here, guys. Let's do this. Let's show off the case right here. You got Venom on the cover, and I think that this cover right here, it is nice. It's not flashy like that old Blu-ray cover, that slipcover version, but it's nice, and I like the quotes right there. The mystery of the birds, the dangerous cycle, the evil of the omen, the terror jaws in. When I first saw this, I was like, wow, you're really going to compare Venom to movies of that caliber? And honestly, like, I think it fits. I'm not saying this is iconic as those movies. It certainly is not. But like the tone of the film and how seriously it takes itself, I could see this movie like standing up to those movies back in the day. Because it is, again, just like these movies, it's a good movie. Like it's a really good suspense thriller. But yeah, really nice cover on that. You turn, I'm trying to focus this, guys. You got Venom on the spine right there. You got the Blue Underground logo. Can you guys see that? You got an image up there at the top. On the back, you got some stuff as well. The synopsis, if you guys want to read more into it. You got the specs. You got all the special features, which we'll get into here in a second. There's several new special features. You got the cast list right there. More specs at the bottom, Blue Underground logo. Take it out of the slipcover. You got a nice image right here. I think this is on the Blu-ray as well. Flip it around. Same information on the side. Same information on the spine. Open this up. Now, this is one thing I don't like about this. So they have a booklet in here, okay? And I love that they got the actual like chapter titles right there. You don't see that a lot anymore. And I think I talked about that when I showed this off. And then you got disc art right here on both the Blu-ray and the 4K. But what I don't like is that they don't have the little clamps that hold the booklet in place. So the booklet's just kind of flopping around in here. Maybe that's just my version. Maybe you'll get it and it'll come with it. Maybe this is just a defect or something. But I haven't seen that a lot recently. Like they usually have those clamps to put the booklet in, but this does not. So it's just flopping. So when you open it up, be careful because that booklet will fall out. That booklet will fall out and maybe damage your booklet if you're kind of anal about that kind of stuff. Maybe worth, letting you know about it. But just kind of flipping through. You got some images in here. You probably got some details about the restoration as well. You got some comparisons to other films that came out, animal attack movies that came out around this time. But yeah, that's my only issue with the packaging is the fact that the booklet is loose inside. Now, getting into the special features, guys, I don't know how many features the edition that came out back in the day had, but I'm not really seeing where there's a lot of archival stuff here. So maybe that was pretty bare bones, and maybe it just had a audio commentary with the director, because there is an audio commentary on here with Pierce Haggard. But you also have a new audio commentary with film historians Troy Hayworth, Nathaniel Thompson, and Eugenio Ercolani. So that's a new audio commentary. Then you got new Fangs for the Memories, interview with editor, second unit director Michael Bradsell. So he really gets in, because he worked with both Tobe Hooper and the new director. So he really gets into the stuff that happened with the director in this movie, Tobe Hooper and all that. Then you got new A Slither Story, interview with makeup artist Nick Dudman. Then you got new Mamba Memories, interview with author and critic Kim Newman. And that one's a really good one. That's about 30 minutes long, and he really goes in depth on just the making of this movie and all the film surrounding this film and just all the details of Tobe Hooper and how he got involved. That's a really good one. I think that's about 30 minutes long too. Then you got new Pick Your Poison, interview with the Dark Side's Alan Bryce. So that is 4 new interviews here, and you got 1 new audio commentary, and all the interviews are like 20 to 25 minutes, and then there's a 30-minute one. So that's about an hour and a half to 2 hours of new special features with this release. And then you got newly expanded poster and still gallery, bonus collectible booklet, which I already showed off. So this is a really nice addition, guys. I thought the 4K was really solid. Blue Underground did a great job with this film, loads of special features. And the movie's actually like really good, like a lot better than I expected it to be. So overall, guys, look, it's a steep price point at 39.36. Maybe wait for a future sale, like maybe MVD will have a sale later on down the line. Maybe there'll be a sale on Diabolic or something. Who knows? At some point, maybe this will go down in price on Amazon, because $40, like it's a good release. Don't get me wrong, but that's still kind of a steep price for just a regular slipcover version of this. But I mean, as a release, I recommend it. Like I really thought the movie was good, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And there's loads of special features here. If you got that Blue Underground edition, you have a reason to upgrade with this other than just the transfer. The Dolby Atmos, like I mean, Dolby Vision HDR. I mean, they really added all the bells and whistles to this release. So that is my review of Venom, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll link it down below in the description if you are interested in picking up the title. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.